NCIS, Tony and Ziva. The Season 1 finale delivers an emotional, action-packed conclusion that ties together the threads of Tony and Ziva's story in a deeply satisfying way. The season ends with a gripping showdown against Jonah Markham, whose dangerous plan threatens not just the world, but the future of Tony and Ziva's family. The finale begins right after their daughter, Tali, is kidnapped, a terrifying moment that forces Tony and Ziva into a desperate race to save her before Jonah's power play comes to fruition. Determined not to let Jonah win, the couple teams up with their two newest allies, Martin and Dejan Lazar, to turn the tables on him. Their teamwork and quick thinking allow them to outsmart Jonah and use his own system against him. By the end of the finale, Jonah's story comes to a tragic close, while Tony and Ziva finally find the peace they've been chasing for years. With the mission complete, they return to their quiet life in Paris, ready to make decisions about their future and what happiness truly means for their family. Does Jonah Markham die in the NCIS Tony and Ziva finale? Yes, Jonah Markham meets his end in the finale, but in a twist that few could have predicted. His downfall comes not from Aaron Graves' raining fire system as planned, but from his own arrogance. Thanks to Boris and Dejan Lazar, the powerful 9.4 system is reprogrammed to target Jonah instead of obeying him. This sparks an intense sequence filled with high-stakes action as the raining fire drones pursue Jonah, who is driving a Jeep with Tali unknowingly trapped in the back seat. In a heartbreaking moment, Tony and Ziva are forced to shoot at the drones to protect Tali, even though it means keeping Jonah alive longer, the opposite of what Ziva wants. Just when a fighter jet is about to unleash a missile that would finish Jonah once and for all, the 9.4 system is pulled offline to save Tali. What no one realizes is that Tony and Tali have already escaped from the vehicle. Jonah survives the chaos, only to be arrested by Martin. However, his story doesn't end there. He later dies in custody, allegedly by suicide, after using a bedsheet to take his own life. But Jonah's death leaves lingering questions. Martin seems to know about his passing even before the official report reaches her, suggesting that there might be more to his death than meets the eye. Whether foul play was involved remains unclear, but the mystery adds one final layer of intrigue to the season's closing moments. Are Tony and Ziva back together by the end? The entire season builds on the tension and chemistry between Tony DiNozzo and Ziva David, teasing whether the two would rekindle their romance after years of complicated emotions. Between running for their lives and trying to protect Tali, their relationship takes a backseat. Tali's earlier comment about not wanting them to get back together also makes them pause and think about what's best for their family. However, the finale brings everything full circle. Tony and Ziva finally decide to give love another chance, officially starting to date again. They share the decision with Tali, who handles it with remarkable maturity, asking only that her parents take things slow this time. The lighthearted exchange, with Tony joking that he'd dump Ziva if Tali disapproves, adds warmth and humor to an otherwise intense ending. Where does the finale leave the other characters? While Tony and Ziva get their long-awaited happy ending, the rest of the characters also reach new turning points. Martin sets her sights on becoming Interpol's next Secretary General, while Dejan Lazar clears his name and reunites with his young son. Claudette and Sophie take their relationship public and start looking for a new apartment together. Meanwhile, Boris faces heartbreak after discovering that Frusi, the woman he loved, was a con artist who stole all his money. Despite his loss, Tony and Claudette welcome him as part of their security